Chris Vince, again, you must be pleased to have Angela Rayner coming here today.
Yeah, absolutely delighted to have Angela here and really, rouse the troops and get people excited about the election that's finally been called. And I'm delighted, to say that we're finally going to have a general election. I think it's something that we, the Labour Party, have been calling for some time. I think it's something actually that the public have been calling for some time. But no, obviously having Angela here, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, future Deputy Prime Minister, shows the commitment that the Labour Party has for Harlow constituency.
The question I asked Angela Rayner, because I spoke to her about the hospital in January 23, and the other day was the idea of, she says it has to have a new hospital. That doesn't mean it's going to get a new hospital. What can you do and Angela Rayner do?
Well, absolutely. We've said, the Labour Party have said that we were absolutely committed to all of the spending plans of the current Conservative government, but clearly we need to go further. As MP for Harlow, it's my duty, because that's the duty that the people of Harlow and the villagers have bestowed on me, to make sure that Harlow gets its new hospital as soon as possible. So one of the first things I will be doing after the election on the 4th of July is be pushing to get Harlow its new hospital. But you're right to say, we were promised a new hospital a long time ago, 5 years ago now, and we haven't seen that. And people on the doors are feeling let down by the fact that this government, 14 years of this government, and it's been a lot of empty promises, frankly.
I'm just giving you sketches of issues around Harlow. We'll return to some later on between now and July 4th. Interviewing a Green Party candidate in the Stowe, in the middle of an injury, 2 motorbikes marauded down the Stowe. The police seem to be good at talking the talk, but not necessarily walking the walk when it comes to antisocial behaviour and crime. What are you going to do?
Well, you and I know this is a huge issue that I've raised a number of times. We know that actually since 2010 we've seen huge cuts to policing numbers in our communities, and also, as we said before, police staff numbers as well. You get all these statistics about how we've got police back on the streets, but communities aren't seeing them, and that's the feedback I get all the time. That people aren't seeing police in their communities. It's one of my top priorities. I've said that I want to get the police back on the streets and back in our communities. I'm delighted that they were talking about that nationally, talking about 13,000 new police officers. My role as the MP for Harlow, again, is to make sure we get those police in Harlow, in those communities. But it's not just about tackling crime. It's the old adage, it's tackling the causes of crime as well. So actually looking at how we can educate young people to avoid crime as well. But actually, I'm pleased to say that Keir Starmer, when he visited Essex a couple of weeks ago, actually one of his first steps was to tackle antisocial behaviour, and that's one of those things, because first and foremost, we want people to feel safe in our communities, so it's a huge issue.
I finally ask you, it's a month since I've actually spoken to you, Phil. Night of the local elections, you walked out there before me. Do you have the mental strength, Chris? You're a lovely bloke. Do you have the mental strength to be an MP? It's a very challenging job. I'm not sure you came up to the challenge.
Well, absolutely. I went home because actually it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to work the next day and I was exhausted. And actually,
there were people there had jobs the next day. People up for 24 hours. Where were you?
Well, I was working for 24 hours, not knocking on doors. And actually, my priority is for the residents of Harlow, and that's what I did throughout election day, and that's what I will continue to do between now and the 4th of July. We had a head start. Rishi Sunak called an election before his party was even ready for it locally. We're ready, and we're actually campaigning, and I will be campaigning, every day between now and the 4th of July, as I have done, in Harlow for the last 6-7 years. I'm determined to get a Labour MP elected in Harlow, but I'm determined to do that because actually I want Labour MP to be part of a Labour government that can really make a difference to the people of Harlow. And my commitment has always been unwaveringly to the people of Harlow and the villages. And actually, I will mention very briefly the villages, if I may. We've been out campaigning in Shearing, Nasing, Lower Nasing and Lower Shearing over the last few days, and it's been a fantastic response. And residents feel that they haven't seen their elected representatives. I'm going to change that. I'm going to be an MP that represents all of the constituents.